G'day guys and welcome back to another 32 builds video. Today I'll be taking a break from the dungeon and I'll be working on the car upstairs. Specifically, I'll be restoring the rear axle of the Datsun 1200. The plan is to get this done and installed in the ute so that I won't have to rely on jack stands at the rear when I crawl underneath to strip and paint the transmission tunnel. I hope you enjoy the process. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you want to show support for the channel. Let's get into it. We're getting real close to getting the motor back into the engine bay. But before that, there's a couple things I need to take care of so that the Datsun can stand on its own 4 feet. Let's take a look at the hard-working rear axle, covered in rust and grease. It's in dire need of a makeover. I'll be disassembling most of it to make every nook and cranny accessible, while leaving the diff closed and axle bearings attached. I know these brake line fittings are just gonna strip on me, so I'll just chop the lines and use an impact wrench to get them off. I should have at least used a saw because the pliers made it a pain for the remaining flared line to slide out of the fitting. With the engine bay being completely redone, I'll be plumbing new brake lines throughout the car anyways. Now removing all the hardware that makes up the drum brakes. These will be cleaned up and installed along with new brake shoes. The rest of the axle will be going through the usual treatment of wire wheeling, rust converter, etch primer and chassis paint. I'm using a couple coats of Septone satin black chassis paint to coat the whole axle housing. Now onto the drum housing. Same process except using black caliper paint, making sure to mask off the contact surface of the brake shoes. The inside of the drum backing plate wasn't so rusty, just real dirty. I still used a Y wheel for the majority of it, then gave the area a good degreasing. I tried to preserve some of the existing paint you can see in this shot. That's because I can't repaint it without removing the bearings. Now it's time to repack the bearings. I do this by removing the cover with a blade and flushing out the old stuff with degreaser and a toothbrush. The retaining collar next to the bearing is pressed on and is only one-time use, which is the reason why I decided not to remove the bearings. Running these miscellaneous parts in the tumbler overnight did enough to clean them, remove most of the rust, but keeping any electroplating intact. These parts will probably start corroding again unless I coat them in something. Maybe I'll zinc plate them again. I guess that's for next time I take them out. Unlike newer cars, the adjustment on these drum brakes are manual. After making sure the adjuster is not seized, I back it out all the way before sliding the drum cover back on. So the rear axle is done and looking fantastic. Along with the leaf springs, they're ready to go back in the Datsun. Now it's time to clean the mounting spots for those parts, slip them in, and start crawling under the cabin to clean out the transmission tunnel. I've also gone and restored all the components for the front suspension, so expect a video on that coming real soon. As always, cheers for watching. Leave a like if you want to show support for the channel, comment if you've got any questions, let me know what I've missed, and subscribe if you want to see more. Peace!